Thutha wa miaka itano ya uthuthuria baranginyo wa njuragano ya magigi iria yatungirio muhuri biashara wa rigatu ugwitwo Monica Nyawira Kimani, riu justice wa igoti inene kuria milimani ugwitwo Grace Nzioka ni ararekereirie itua ria uthuthuria kuria aratangathire ati mwikuirwo wa mbere niwe Joseph Irungu kana Jowie ati niwe woragire Monica na njira ya kwigarura ritwa agikuwa nguo cia gucenjia agithie mucii kwa Monica kuria Lamuria apartments akihura Monica rithathi agicoka agicenjia nguo na auma kou ainuka agicina nguo icio niguo athoge uira. Nake mwikuirwo wa keri mumemerekia Jackie Maribe uria ona niwe warekereirie ndeto cia gikuo kia Monica ria mbere karabiconi-ini ga Citizen TV kuria athomaga mohoro ni arehereirio thitango thutha wa mwena wa thitango kuremwo kuonania gukorwo ho gwake Monica agikua. Hihi niki giacungireirie njuragano ino? Yoyo uhoro sararuku we na ndukariganirwo ndakwirire ati riu ukienda kugura credit gia Safaricom, Airtel kana Telcom riu tuhuthagira lipa na M-Pesa. Hau happy bill ukamimida business number 136136 account ugekira namba yaku ya thimu, amount ugekira muigana wa credit kiria ukwenda, wekira pin yaku ri uga confirm ati uragura kuma gwa Tubonge Plus. Hau ukamukira airtime thimu-ini yaku na ugikorwo ndiri na cash M-Pesa-ini ri ndukamake amu no freeze airtime na ugigega thina o gothe ukigura tuma message ya M-Pesa iria megugucokeria watuma mbeca kwi namba 456 wamukire uteithio hau na tamaka utungata uyu ndurarihio ni mundu ni watoho mutheri. Justice Grace Nzioka akirekereria ha ground breaking judgment araugire ati utuku wa mweri 19 Septemba mwaka wa 2018 Joseph Irungu kana Jowie ahuthirire reciria ria Dominic Bisara thiko igiri mbere yake gutabania njuragano iyo agithaya na Njirungi Funduki Musinga oigana kurema agikuwa kanjo iria ekirire iguru ria nguo iria ari nacio agithie Lamuria Gardens haria Kitale Lane wauma Dennis Street Road akihenania ritwa riake akigira nyumba ya mutigaire akimuraga agitigirira ni akuaku agicoka agicenjia nguo na akiuma akiinuka na muico agicina nguo icio.
It is the finding of this court, yes. The case is based on circumstantial evidence, but the prosecution has adduced adequate evidence and has met the threshold. And to sum up, did the first accused person kill the deceased? It is the finding of this court. I'll play back for purposes of my finding. The first accused person stole the ID of Dominic Bisara 2 days prior to the commission of the offense, armed himself with a gun, carried a counsel, put it over his clothes, went to Lamuria Gardens, disguised his identity, gained access to the apartment of the deceased, murdered the deceased, left the deceased house, changed his clothes, and eventually went home and burnt the cloth which he wore during the commission of the offense. It is the finding of this court that all this evidence taken culminatively leads to a strong conclusion that the first accused person murdered the deceased. And therefore, it is the finding of this court that the prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt all the ingredients of the offense of murder. The death occurred, the cause of that death, the person who, and in this case the first accused, I'm still on the first accused person, committed that offense. It was not a case of homicide. Excusable homicide, it was unlawful. And therefore I find the first accused person guilty as charged herein of the offense of murder, that on the night of 19th of September 2018, at an unknown time at Ramuria Gardens apartment, Kitale Lane off Dennis Preach, with others know before this court, he murdered Monica Nyawira Kimani.
Justice Grace akiehereria mwikoirwo wa keri Jackie Maribe thitango ni araugire ati Jackie ni ateithiririe Jowie gutabania njuragano na njira ya kumuhe ngari yake ahuthire utuko ucio na akiheana uhoro wa maheni kuria thuthuria ona gutuika ndariho Jowie akiuragana.
The second accused person was also arrested. And according to the prosecution case, she was arrested because, one, she was within the vicinity of the commission of the murder. According to the prosecution, the vehicle that was used in the commission of this offense was hers. According to the prosecution, she aided and abetted the first accused person by providing that vehicle. According to the prosecution evidence, she switched off her phone at the time when the offense was being committed. According to the prosecution case, she gave false information to the police about the shooting incident, and the intention was to divert their attention from investigating the murder charge. And finally, according to the police, she aided and abetted and or was aware of destruction of the evidence that will be used in the murder case through the burning of the items that were recovered, believed to have been the items used in the commission of the murder and eventually destroyed.
Reu Jowie egocokio Kenya ahingirwo niguo agacoka igoti-ini mweri 8 wa gatatu mwaka uyu wa 2024 riria itua ria ihera riria ekuherithio naryo rikarekererio.
May I have the first accused person stand up? You will appear before the court on 8th of March for sentencing. Unfortunately, after conviction, I'm unable to accede and or allow the prayer by your counsel for you to remain on bond. I'm cancelling your bond. You'll be held in custody until the 8th of March.
Naguo oira uria Jackie aheire igoti uria uramuhotithirie kwehererio thitango niguo uyu.
I am a journalist by profession. I will start I will start with the particulars of the offense, why I'm on trial. The statement of offense is murder, contrary to section 203, as read with section 204 of the Penal Code. I am told I have been accused of murdering one Monica Nyawira Kimani, jointly with Joseph Kuria Irongo alias Jowie on the night of 19th September 2018 at an unknown time at Lamuria Gardens apartments, Kitale Lane off Dennis Preach Road in Kilimani area within Nairobi. I would like to adduce my evidence as at my movements on the 19th of September 2018. I left my house at Royal Park Estate in Langata. My then fiancé Joseph Kuria Irongo alias Jowie dropped me to Royal Media Services, that's where Citizen Television is. at 8 a.m. in Kilimani. I was at Royal Media Services the entire day up until around 9:30 p.m. At his request, I stayed on at Royal Media Services up until around 10 p.m. where I left for Q Lounge. It's a restaurant right opposite Citizen Television. In the company of two of his employees, one referred to as Shaw and another one referred to as Odis. It's his nickname, Odis. Can I be allowed to get his official name? I had earlier met some former friends of mine who, one is a former nominated MCA, referred to as June Juliet Ndegwa, in the company of Chelangat Ruto, who testified as PW11. And another former nominated MCA referred to as Anita Thumbi. Who had requested my company for a girls' night out. They came to Royal Media Services when the governor was scheduled to have an interview, and I left them at Royal Media tending to the governor at around 10 o'clock when I proceeded with Show and with this to Q Lounge. We watched the interview on my phone at Q Lounge until it ran out of charge. At around maybe 11:30, 11:45, a former colleague who was the director of the Jeff Koinange show called Monica Kirago came to Q Lounge and informed me that the first accused was looking for me. And as my phone was off, he had contacted Monica Kirago. I called the first accused using Monica's phone, Monica Kirago, and informed him that I was going to Westlands to Club 4040 in the company of Juju, Chelangat Ruto, and Anita Thumbi, former Governor Mike Sonko and his entourage. The first accused asked if he could join us in Westlands, to which I gave the go-ahead. I told him he can join us in Westlands. We arrived at Club 4040 maybe shortly after midnight. The first accused later joined us, but sat at a different table. He had seen some friends of his at 4040. So he sat on a...
Did you say you arrived at 4040?
Shortly after midnight. On or around midnight. Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. When we left Q Lounge, we passed by Roadhouse to switch vehicles. We were using Chelagat Ruto's car, but she wanted to leave it at Roadhouse, so we went and switched for Juju's car. So we used Juju's car to Westlands. I had forgotten to mention that. We had refreshments at Club 4040 until around 4 a.m. This is now the morning of 20th September 2018. I left in the company of the first accused for my residence in Langata, Royal Park Estate. And in the morning at around 8:30 a.m. left for work, where I was dropped by the first accused to Royal Media Services. My lady, on the particulars of the offense, which is on 19, I wish to state that I did not know Monica Nyawera Kimani. I had never met her. I had never communicated with her. I had never discussed or had any discussion with the first accused or anyone else concerning Monica Nyawera. I found out, as everyone else did in the country, about the murder as I was reading a news item on Citizen Television. That is the first time I had heard of the name Monica Nyawera Kimani or seen her photo. My lady, I had never been to Lamuria Apartments on Kitale Lane, not on the night of 19 September or any other date before this court made a visit to the scene. I therefore was not at the murder scene, and as I did not know the accused, my lady, I had no motive to wish her... Oh, sorry, my apologies, the deceased. My apologies. The deceased, I had no motive to want her dead, and I had no common plan for any murder. I would wish to confirm that the motor vehicle KCA 031E was mine. And I used it whenever I went to work or was picked from work by the first accused, and did not have any control of any movement when the car was not in my possession.
Gerifotera sasa ni ya musanene ko kuma hathini wa YouTube gikuria na gitiyo tukia wa subscribe go share na go comment kenda wa video ino na ndukariganirwo ni guturumirira thini wa TikTok na Facebook musanene ko ni jitago musanene ki wiga tu.